All right, we're jumping right into Unit 18, Navigation and Flight Computers Introduction. So the aircraft performance is fundamentally governed by its design,
I remember a
weight.
sweltering July afternoon back in the 80s out in Albuquerque. I had a student who was a real sharp stick, but he was a bit too casual about his pre-flight math. He figured since we had a long runway, the heat wouldn't matter much. We were loaded right up to our maximum weight with full fuel and a mountain of gear in the back. When he pushed that throttle forward, the airplane felt like it was trying to wade through waist-deep molasses. That high-density altitude meant the wings just weren't getting the lift they needed, and the engine was gasping for air. I watched the end of the runway coming up fast, and those ponderosa pines were looking taller by the second. We finally clawed our way into the sky with barely a few feet to spare. He was white as a sheet the rest of the trip. That day taught him that your aircraft configuration and the ambient weather aren't just suggestions. If you don't calculate your takeoff and climb performance before you ever turn the key, you are just guessing with your life. Mastering these flight computers and performance charts is how you make sure you actually clear the trees and get home for dinner.
That's right. That's probably one of the most important parts. You want to be home for dinner every night. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. We're going to go right into Unit 19. Here we are. Navigational systems. Play here. Yeah, so your navigation is important on the ground as much as it is in the sky. We're going to go over types of VORs.
I remember a cross-country flight back in the early 80s. I was flying a beat-up Cessna 172 over the thick pine forests of Maine. The haze was so thick it felt like flying through a bowl of milk, and every lake down there looked exactly like the one next to it. I thought I was hot stuff, just dead reckoning by my watch and a paper map. But about 40 minutes in, that nagging feeling in my gut started screaming. I realized I had no idea which valley I was looking at. I swallowed my pride, reached over, and tuned into the nearest VOR station. When that needle finally centered, I realized I was nearly 15 miles off course and heading straight for restricted airspace. If I had not known how to use those dials, I would have been intercepted by the National Guard, or worse, run out of fuel over the trees. Navigation is even more important in the air than it is on the ground because you cannot just pull over and ask for directions. As we go through this unit on VORs and other tools, remember that these systems are your best friends when the world outside the window starts looking the same. Pay attention because mastering these tools ensures you are always on the right track.
That's right. And last but not least, we're going to go right into Unit 20. And Unit 20 is going to be cross-country flight planning. This is a very exciting one. When you think of cross-country, don't think of it as going from East Coast to West Coast. It's really not that far. Let's see. Cross-country flight planning introduction. Play. Okay, so for this, we're going to be doing aeronautical charts, plotting the course, selecting the checkpoints that we want to do, weather briefing, fuel planning, and filing the flight plan. You have the option to have flight following. This is going to be one of the biggest things you're going to do in your cross-country flight planning.
Hello, Maura Hewison. A pilot stares at a horizon that stretches for hundreds of miles, knowing that the journey ahead is a demanding test of skill. To navigate this distance safely, you need more than just a compass. You need a system. In this unit, we will transform that daunting distance into a manageable mission. We will begin by plotting your precise course on an aeronautical chart, much like a navigator tracing a path through unknown territory. You will learn to analyze weather information to ensure your flight path remains clear of danger. We will then compute your flight time, headings, and fuel requirements to ensure your aircraft is always within its limits. By mastering these planning techniques, you will gain the knowledge required to fly cross-country with total confidence and professional precision.
That's right. All right. Well, this has been great. You guys enjoy ACE as much as I am, and have a great day. Bye.